a friend of yours. Now, me being a friend of yours, me being me and me being Mark, and Mark is your friend, you should realize that Mark likes making fun of people a lot. I enjoy making fun of people. So if you're a friend of mine, you know that it is not every day something will happen to you. I will not laugh at you then because I'm not a bad friend. But 3, 4 days when you are okay, I will laugh at you at it. So let's say Mark being your friend, I come to you and I see that you are walking to the counseling unit of I see you. I see you walking there. So when I see you walking there, in my mind, I'm like, isn't it that my friend? What is he doing walking to the what? Counseling unit? Okay. Then my friend will say, oh, I'm going to the counseling unit because I'm having issues with school. I'm feeling depressed. I can't learn. When I open the book, I don't feel motivated. The course is not going the way I like it, or I don't know what I want to do with my life. I'm doing the course, I'm learning the course, but to be honest with you, I don't know what I want to do with my life. I don't know where I want to take my life. Now, the moment I see you going to the counseling unit, me being my friend, I'll say, inti wa bodamana. And I said, unim nyansa, and I said, utia uya inti sisi ya bodamana. In that vein of action. And then I'll make fun of that. A lot of students do not seek help. They don't seek counseling. A lot of workers do not seek counseling. They do not seek help. They do not seek advice because they are afraid of having friends like me who would make fun of them for going to seek help, for going to seek respite in what they do. So, what I just said is the synopsis, requirement gathering. I am supposed to know what you you need. What do you want? What do you want for the organization? How can I elicit the requirements you need to build the application in which you want? I'll conduct interviews. So I'll conduct an interview. In here, I can do it one-on-one or with groups. I can say, oh, Albert, if I did something in counseling, would you like it? Do you want to work there or you want to do Zoom? Oh, me, I'm not shy of anyone. I can work there. Oh, me, I would like to do Zoom. Oh, me, I'm shy. Oh. Even my problem, if somebody hears me talking about the problem or something, I see the person, I'll feel bad. I don't want that. So I'll talk to Albert. Based on the conversation with Albert, I'll talk to 5, 7, 8, 20, 30 more people. If the population of the school is, let's say, 1,000, and I talk to 5 people, that doesn't show a reflection of what I am doing. So I would create, I can use focus groups. I can create questionnaires. I can use these kind of tools to elicit what your problem is. Because half the time we assume that people know what they want and what they need. We all know what if I gave you 10,000 Ghana cedis now, in your mind you have an idea of things you need to buy and you want. You have an idea of things you want to buy. But in all honesty, there are needs you have to do. There are payments you have to make. There are things in which you have to buy for your survival. So your job as the software developer, as the engineer, as the analyst, as the data person is to know what do you want, what do you need? Because knowing what you want from what you need will allow me to build the use cases and the class diagrams and all of those diagrams. Those diagrams come from me knowing what you want. Note, what you want serves as the contract. So you realize that you would go into a meeting and you want to sign a contract with a software engineer, and a lot of people just tell them, I want a shopping system. And when the shopping system comes back and it doesn't meet what you want and what you need, then, oh, this developer is not good. This software has been going on for 2 years. The problem was that when the software was starting, you have to list, I want my software, people to log in. In Ghana, people do not have bulk cash. So in my software, when you buy something, you can buy it on credit. When you buy it on credit and you bank with our bank, then we will be deducting you small, small. So everybody should bank with our bank. So we will have a partner bank. Everybody will be with that bank. Salary will be going through with that bank. And if you have been with our bank for 6 months, automatically you qualify to buy things on credit. So you go buy a big TV, 10,000, say you would use 6 months to pay it. Every time your salary comes, you will remove 2,000. There is in our app, if you falter on a payment once, just once, you cannot free anything again, or you cannot buy anything on credit again. This would be a wonderful app because a lot of people want to buy things, but they don't know how they can buy things. And they have small money. And as an idea, you can use this one to do what we call a credit system so that you know who can pay, who cannot pay a loan. And then you can use that as a bargaining chip and sell it to other companies so that they can use that data to know this guy, if he takes a loan, he won't pay. Or if he takes a loan, he will pay, but he will delay. So if you tell the person, I want a shopping system, and you don't list the things you want the system to do, specifically, not the oh when you click it should move and oh the system when you click things to shake and something to turn. That is the things you want, but that's not what you need. Your job is to know what they need. That's why the requirement gathering is important. That's why the elicitation of the requirement, which involves you speaking to public, having discussions, having interviews, having questionnaires, having focus groups, is important because in me eliciting the information, step one is me preparing to understand the domain of the problem and the stakeholders and the project goals. I can't elicit information from you if I do not know your goals. That is why you see that when you watch a movie and you are watching the movie and you are enjoying, and the IT person comes in, the IT person can hack, the IT person knows everything. It's like the IT person is supposed to know everything. Because contrary to popular belief, you as the IT person do not work in an IT firm. That is why whenever you're in a class, and the undergrads especially, when they are in class and they are doing accounting or they are doing economics or courses like that, in their mind, and they are doing French and things like that, in their mind, like I'm doing IT. Why am I doing accounting? Why am I doing French? We may find the problem is that the jobs you do have nothing to do with IT. IT is a function that helps the job. For example, if you're a bank, you need IT to help your operations. The bank does banking, it does accounting, it does economics, it does whatever it does. But the IT is not the core function of the job. The IT is there to help the job. So you as the IT person, if you don't know accounting, if you don't know economics, how can you write an application to help the bank? The hospital is running, the doctors are doing whatever they do. You are the IT person, you are building a hospital management system. If you don't know how a hospital operates, where information goes, you don't know procurement, you don't know how things are brought in and things are brought out, you don't know the theories of moving goods and logistics, for you to know that if a patient comes in, he has 30 minutes to be on the bed and then he'll move out. So the moment we admit a patient, within 30 minutes, he must move on. If the patient is there for more than 30 minutes, the hospital, loses, let's say, 2,000 Ghana cedis. So our objective is get the patient in, watch him. If he's good, we give him treatment. If he's not good, we move him on. It is a business. That's why a lot of hospitals in Ghana are failing. Because you go, there are beds, there's no one on it, and you would ask, they'll say there are no beds, but they're saving the beds for the rich people, and then the poor people will be outside dying. But if they were able to put that poor person on the bed, charge that poor person, give him treatment, make that person get treatment, and move him on, then you have made money for the organization. So a lot of the hospitals are poor and they don't have money because they're not looking at it from a logistical procurement point of view. All the people out there have one knowledge, and that is in medicine. So you, the IT person, understanding the problem and the where there, everybody thinks that, oh, you go and read and talk about it. No, you would have to sit down, know more about how the organization runs than the people that even run the organization themselves. Because if I know your problem, if I know who are the actors of your problem, and let's bring it back to the counseling application. In that scenario, I'm looking at the counselor, I'm looking at the student, I'm looking at, in this case, the patient, but I'm referring to as the student. I'm looking at the administrator who makes sure everybody goes on well. So the stakeholders are the doctor, the student, and the administrator. That means that if I build a system and one of these people are not getting what they have to get, their needs are not being met, I have not done anything. So if I know what your problem is and I know who are the people who are acting on it, then I can write the goals of the project. You don't just go and say, oh, I want you to build a church management system for me. What would the church management do? Yɛakɔ asɔre akɔ they be a yɛtwerɛ tight book mu. So you are doing it online. If you have to pay tight, you just pay with Momo, and then we know when it is when something happens to you, we have to check. We click a button and we will know all your payments you have done. If you're a bank, to make more money for yourself, you'd go and see the church, say that, okay, now we will deduct the tithe from source for you. So all the tithe money will come for them. We'll do an app for you. All your members will sign up. When it's time to pay, they'll pay. All that cash goes into a particular account. The bank makes money. The church is able to take their money. Everybody feels okay. Mauli.
Yes, sir. So thank you very much. So if I'm getting it right, requirement elicitation goes further than just requirement gathering, or the two can be used interchangeably.
The two can be used interchangeably. Requirement elicitation is me going to look for the information. So it is me going to say, okay, this is the contracting which I have. This is the job I have. Now I have to go in and okay, this is what you want. This is not what you want. This is what you require. These are the people who play a role. This is, you see, a lot of the times, the way the upper management see the organization is not the way the organization runs at the ground. And this is from my personal experiences. It may be true and it may not be true. But from my personal experiences as a developer, if I go to an organization and I'm building a software, the management wants the software to work a particular way, but the people on the ground doesn't work that way. It hardly works that way. So If you want your software to succeed faster, you do it to suit the people on the ground. But you use the management people's constraints on them so that they cannot go out of their limits. So these are things in which you must identify. For example, I built a software for what that thing, the cylinder recirculation thing. So that when you're home and you click, I want the cylinder, then the people will bring the cylinder to your house, something like that. So the idea is that when the person gets there, then he will scan the cylinder. So when he scans it, then we know that this cylinder is of this person, this cylinder is of that person. The problem is that the guy who drives the boboya or whatever you call the whatever the name of that in those cars to stick the cylinder there, when he gets there, he's too hot because he has to be doing the cylinder. He's the one doing the payment, and all of those things have to be put in the app. And using of the phone is difficult for the person. So sometimes instead of him to scan and do everything, he rather prefers to write it all on a paper. And then when he gets to a convenient place, then you key it all into the system. The problem is, at the point of keying in, we take the location so that we know where you are. So you realize that the guy, the whole day, he's at one location. He hasn't gone anywhere. And they're like, this guy, he doesn't do his work. He doesn't do his work. The management wants him to do something. But for operational efficiency, he's doing something else. So your job for the software to work is to marry the two. Find a way where se hot abemu, se enyema yie, if things are not going well, if there's pressure on the guy, he can forgo the app, work, but later on he can make entries. Another thing too is some of the areas he goes, there is no internet. So sometimes they want to enter, but when they get there, there's no internet, so they can't enter. So what do? It means you have to write the app in a way whereby they can take the information and save so that when internet comes, they would upload it online. So you see, requirement gathering, identifying the stakeholders, identifying who is key in the organization, knowing what they want, then knowing, okay, this person is key. Oh, let me Charlie Ejuma ne Ekosen Charlie Ejuma we say you Charlie it's no open like sorry let me not speak tree, let me speak English. How is this work? Oh, this work is difficult to Charlie. Oh, what makes it difficult? Oh, Charlie, you do this, you do this, you do this, you do that, you do that. Okay, the person is talking, but your job is to be taking the information down, listing them, seeing things which are common with other departments so that you can group them together. Things which are not common, then you'd write them all individually. Things which are illegal, then you can correct with the system so that when he's doing that illegal thing, you can use the system to say, oh, you're not allowed. If you don't talk to the person, then you cannot get those information. So after you gather the information, then you have to go and then analyze the information to see which one is good, which one is feasible, which one is not. Again, everything the person is telling you doesn't mean it is true. It doesn't mean it is true. It doesn't mean it is right. But it is information which will help you to build an app which would work well. So when we say requirement elicitation, we are technically talking about these things here, the focus groups, the questionnaires, the interviews. But when we are talking about the first half of the questioning, which the processes you go through, first of all, you have to understand the problem. You have to know who the stakeholders are. Then you have to do the interviews and all of those things to get the information. Once you get the information, then you would analyze it. Then you will document. Then you will go to the people who gave you the job and said, these are the things I found out. Do you agree? Should I continue the job? And note, After you are done with this, what you are technically getting is the functional and non-functional requirements for the job. And note, it is the functional requirements and non-functional requirements that you are going to be paid on. Software, way. The software will do this, and that. So when you bring the software and I don't see this, but I only see that, then I know I'm not paying you. And it is also helps you, the developer, because when it is time for you to get paid, you have this, and that. You have done all of the things. Then the person comes and says, "Oh, but I thought you said you would add credit card payment." Then we'll go to the document. The document says no credit card payment. So you are also what? Covered. So if everything is said and done, here we have the Ghana Police e-counseling system, so that members of the police service who feel like they are being marginalized or they feel like um, things are not going their way or something like that, they can go there, forgotten the password. They can go there. Here's the admin. So the admin can set up the doctor's schedules. Here, the patients is there for the personnel, the police personnel. So a particular police personnel, let me log out, can also come to the system, log in. When they log in, this is what they see. They can make an appointment, view the appointments they have. Note that these appointments are all going to be on video call. So once the video call is on, you can see the individual in the video call. You can have chat with the person in the video call. You can do all of those things in which you want. And you don't have to be seen going to the counseling unit for your other personnel to say, ah, Kwawe, or counseling unit too. And then I been here, Jumana. Because the police people, some of them who are abused and insulted and they could bribe and emoji and whatever, when they go home, they feel it. So they need someone to talk to. They can talk online without having to suffer. And we can bring the same idea to the school, where students can have a place to go chat with a peer or a counselor and then get ideas and grow. And in a system like this, we have the uh, uh, the patient, the doctor. The doctor's view is this. So the doctor can see his bookings. He knows that, oh, he has a session with this person, he has a session with that person. He can cancel if he feels he doesn't want to do it. He can go and see all the sessions he has. This doctor doesn't have any sessions, so he has no patients to meet. So the individual things here, creating a session, your bookings, all of those things here is what we gives us our information. Any questions? Any questions, please?
Thank you very much, sir. I think it's clear.
Now let's go to the
And
next
then,
thing.
sir, please, if you can kindly touch on the functional and then the non-functional requirement, please.
Oh, okay, no problem. No, no. Okay, when we say functional requirements, this is a very important word, especially in design, in software creation, in modeling. Functional requirements are an important asset of software design and development and describe the specific functionalities or behaviors that a system or a software application must perform to satisfy a user's needs, a business requirements, and stakeholder expectations. Let me read this half again. Functional requirements are an important aspect of system design and development and describe the specific functionalities or behaviors that a system or software application must perform to satisfy user needs, business requirements, and stakeholder expectations. So for me to have this part here, the user needs, not the user wants. Again, it's very important. For example, I have been a victim of this. When I started out in life, as we all do, as a IT support officer, I had the opportunity to build a radio, um, what do you call that thing? That thing Adom FM and those people have been doing, where you have a site, then the radio will be streaming in the site. If you can see what I'm trying to say. So when the radio
Live
station,
stream.
yeah, live stream. Now, when we started out the project, we built the website, and then now the problem is the live stream. We went and asked the company. Note that the person said he will pay 2,500, and then he paid us 1,000 that we should start the work. Okay, no problem. Again, we have started out in life, so no problem. We went and then sat down, looked at the 2,500, and then we built the website. Then in the website, there is a portion where we have to now stream the video. We went and asked the people at Adum FM and all of those people, like, how do they do it? They said, in order to teach us how to do the streaming, we will pay 9,000. The contract, they gave us 2,500, but the people said they will pay us 9,000. Okay, no problem. So now we went and used a third-party proxy to install on a person's computer. That proxy will take the voice and then send the voice online, and then we'll go and take it from online and put it in. That proxy, to use it, you have to pay $10. The people said they won't pay. Okay, fine. We paid the $10. At that time, $10 was not that expensive. And then we used the proxy and it worked. The site worked, the streaming worked. When they stream it, it passes through. Everything is great. We have brought the software. Now, pay us. Note, they are paying us 1,500. Okay. We didn't understand the user's needs. So when we brought the software, the man said, in order to pay the 1,500, we must turn that whole thing into an app. We were young, we were broke, so we went, did the software into an app. There's a way where you can take the app and then push the website into the app so that it behaves as if it is an app, but it is a software. And we did it. But because of the proxy we are using, the streaming doesn't come in the app. The only way the streaming will come in the app is if you have paid. And these people said they wouldn't pay the $10 a month subscription Whilst if they use the other way, they are paying 9,000. Okay, no problem. But the app, we have done it. The only thing is that you can stream on the website, but the app, the streaming will not come. The only way to come is if you pay the what? $10. We gave them the app. Pay us, they won't pay. Pay us, they won't pay. Then we shut down everything. And then the owner of the business, he's a king in wherever he is, called me and said, young people of today, we don't do business like that. If he tells me that because I shut it down, he has lost business, what will I do? But we don't do business like that. How much is that money and we can't pay? The only thing is we have to solve the issue there. We have to solve it before he will pay. And if we don't solve it and we don't bring it back, he will call police on us. No problem. And I also told him that a grown up as he is, does he really think that young people also starting out life holding 1,500 is a good thing for him? And all of these problems came in because, first of all, we didn't ascertain the needs of the customer. So we didn't charge well. That is a mistake I don't make anymore. We didn't understand the business requirements of the organization. That is a mistake I don't make anymore. And we didn't know the stakeholders' operate expectations, and we did not document them. That is a mistake I don't make anymore. Now, I make sure everything you say is written down. If I come and you want a change, I write it that every change in which you make, you have an amount of money you have to pay. If you pay it, then I'll make that change. And you realize when you do that, whenever someone has to make a change, they think, if I make this change, it will cost me this amount to you is not anything. I want it like that. Re Functional requirements, in other words, are the objectives of your system. The objectives that you can see. Let me repeat, you can see. A lot of students, when they give objectives, they'll say, I want my user system to be user-friendly. If on the day of you showing me the software, I tell you, show me user-friendly, how are you going to show that? It is a feeling. It is me using the software for some time now. Say, oh, this software is user-friendly, or this system is not user-friendly, or whatever. When we say functional requirements, they are the things in which you would see immediately. When you write the functional requirements, the system would have a login screen, for example. The system has a login screen. Show me the login screen. You can show me the login screen. The system will have a payment platform. Show me the payment platform. The system will help the organization grow. How will your system help the organization grow? Certain things have to be done before the organization can be seen growing. So that is not a functional requirement. So when you take students' project work and you watch the project work and they write my system will do this, and my system will do that, and my system will do that, you know the student doesn't know what he's doing because the things he's writing there on the day of the project work, if I tell you, show me this, show me that, show me how this thing is done, show me how that thing is done, the student cannot show. He must do something for that thing to be shown. It means that that's something that must be done is rather the functional requirement and not the derivative. And note, the functional requirement document or the requirement document becomes your contract. And before you can have the functional requirements, you must elicit the information. You must know what they want, what they need, what are they trying to do. A mistake I didn't make, I made. So for a job in which right now I would have taken a lot of money, I did it for 2,500. So these requirements detail what the system should do and how it should behave under certain conditions. Again, these are action words. If I tell you, show me this, you are showing me that. If it is a derivative, if I tell you, show me this, and you have to do something for something to work before that thing can be shown, it's not a functional requirement. Functional requirements are typically documented during the requirement gathering process or phase and serves as the basis for the system design, the development, the testing, and the validating. And why is this so? Because this is what the system will do. So that is what I'll use to design. So draw a class diagram, draw a use case diagram, draw a sequence diagram, draw an activity diagram. All of these things I'm telling you to draw. If you do not know specifically what the system has to do, the system will have login. The people can pay. They'll be able to do order. The people can do this. The people can do that. If you don't have these things down, then you can't draw the use case diagram. You can't draw the class diagram because the functional requirements will let you know who are the players, who are the people who are going to use the system on a day-to-day basis. Once you know who are the players, what will you do specifically in the system? You go here, you do this, you do update on this, you do this, you do purchase on this. Then I can write all of those things as a model. So if I don't know who are the actors, what will they do? Obviously, I can't do the model. Same thing goes to the development because if I don't know what you are doing, how can I develop? And it is here too that you, because I said there will be a login. So when I'm doing testing, I'll test if there is a what? Login and the login with. So if I don't know what my functional requirements are, how can I go and test on them? And again, when you know what your functional requirements are, it is that is what you'll be paid on. Because when we at the end of the day, when we are done, are you done with the website? I'm done. Oh, okay, did you build a shopping application? I did. Where is it? It is here. Okay. Can the people do checkout? Here's checkout. Can the people do payment? Here's payment. I am paying you based on the functional requirements. So if you list them, then you give a price to each and every single function, and then you can price out your work. And you can see I'm talking about pricing and I'm talking about the educational stuff too. Because at the end of the day, the two should marry. We are not in school to learn and get a degree. We are in school to learn, go and improve our workplace or create a job for ourselves. So we must marry the two. Any questions, please?
So I'm okay. It's very clear.
The class is like me and Maulipa are doing it today. Oh. The rest of you, what's up? Are you okay?
So yeah, okay. Oh.
Yeah, following sir.
So let us consider the functional requirements for an online bookshop. So here I have an online bookshop. User functions. The user should be able to register for a new account by providing their name, email address, and password. Full stop. Registered users should be able to log in into the system using their username, email, and password. Full stop. The user should be able to browse through the list of available books by category such as genre, author, or popularity. Full stop. You realize if I tell you, show me this, you can what? Show. The user should be able to view detailed information about a selected book, including its title, author, description, price, availability, and review. So again, functional requirements are the things your system will do specifically. There should be no ambiguity in it. Specifically. The user should be able to add a book to their shopping cart. The user should be able to proceed to checkout, enter billing and shipping information, and also complete the purchase. The user should be able to update the account information, which includes the name, email address, password, and the shipping address. The administrative functions for the administrator. What should he be able to do? The administrator should be able to manage the inventory of the books by adding, updating books, and removing discontinued books. Administrators should be able to view and respond to customer inquiries, feedback, and support requests. The administrator should be able to manage orders, view order details, and update order statuses as needed. You realize that everything in which I wrote over here, if I tell you, show me it in the system, you can show. So all of those, the system will be secure. The system will be user friendly. The system will have a system the way we are seeing the database. The system will have a database. The Tanya Mania Mano Dabi. Dabi. Are we okay?
Yes,
Hello,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Sir, Frank here.
Okay, Frank.
So if the question is asking you to develop a class diagram, is that a way? Is that a way you're going to develop it? Is it the description of it like you've done, or you have to draw the diagrams to support your answer?
If the question says draw a diagram, draw a class diagram, you are drawing a diagram. If the question says draw a class diagram, then you are drawing a diagram. So one
But
of
this
the
one is
questions,
saying develop.
pardon?
This one, the question says develop a high level class diagram for the e-commerce system.
Okay, so let me get that question and post it here so we can all see it. So class diagram. Where is it?
That's question one. Okay. B.
Question 1, yes,
B.
no problem. So we are here. Let me put it over here. Okay, so consider you are tasked with designing an e-commerce system for a bookstore. Oh, there's also a bookstore. Okay, that's great. The system should allow users to search for books, add them to cart, and purchase them. Okay. The system should also manage their accounts, inventory, and their processes. That's great. Identify and describe the key functional and non-functional requirements. So over here, that is what we did. Okay. So per the question, the functional requirements. So your functional requirements are allow users to search for books. 1, manage user accounts. 2, manage inventory. You don't go and write inventory pay. Manage inventory. Okay. And then process payments. Sorry. Don't worry, I'll list them all nicely when I'm done. I'm just copying them out. Over here, we have search for books, add them to cart, and purchase them. So here we'll put that all here. So, and purchase them to come here. Then over here, we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So here, the system should allow nowadays, because of shorthand, when everything we do, we are always thinking of shorthand. Let me do it the long way. The system should allow users. That's what it said. Good. The system should allow
Yes, sir.
users. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, I can hear you.
So
You sounded
why do we have managed inventory at 5 and then 6 inventory alone?
Oh, this is an error. I'll remove it. I'm arranging them well. So let me finish. Okay.
Your voice is down, please.
I said
Your
that
voice
one
is
is.
down.
Can you hear me now?
No.
Now, if you can't hear me, how did you know to say no? Okay, let me see.
It was down.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. It's loud
Yes,
and
we
clear.
can hear you.
Okay, so I'm arranging it well. Having finished. That's what I was trying to say. Over here, the system should allow users to purchase items. The system should allow users to manage user accounts. The system should also allow users to manage user accounts. The system should allow the administrator to manage inventory. Of course, you have system should allow user registration and login. So here you have the functional requirements. Then you have the non-functional requirements. So the non-functional requirements.
A quick one, a quick question.
Uh-huh.
So what is the difference between the user and the administrator of the system? I didn't know.
Okay. So here, if you are a user, then you are the person coming to buy. Let's say a customer. Are we okay? And then over here, if you are administrator, you are an employee of the organization. Let me use that term.
Okay, so when access to pick out the actors in this, a user can be one, administrator can be one.
Administrator can be one. Mhm.
So you can use the user and then administrator.
You can use the user and administrator. So that brings us to the question from the other gentleman. Using the requirements, identify one high level class. So here we are question B. This is the question the person asked. So question B, you will not come and write all of these things there. Those things have been answered in question 1. And the reason why they were asking question 1 is that if you can't identify the key functionalities, you cannot do question 2. Honestly, you cannot do question 2 if you have not answered question 1. So in question 2, your job then is to draw the diagram. And the diagram goes like this. So for the diagram, we are looking at a class diagram. So here, thank God I have classes here already. Also, I need to have 2 of them. Over here, instead of me having students, I'll have user. Over here, instead of me having course, I'll have administrator. Is that okay? Then over here, I'll have the various variables that they will play. Then the various actions they will do. So let's see what actions they will play and what they will do. So the user will take information on him. So we'll take his name. So we'll take what symbol is there for private? Is private, is it minus or plus?
Minus.
Minus.
Okay. So here I have minus for private. And then over here, I'm saying name, which is going to be a string. To be honest, if you don't bring the data type portion, I won't penalize you for that. And then the next one, we're going to have their username, because they would have to log in. So they will need a username. And then it is also going to be a string. Then they are going to have a password. Then what else are they going to have? Then the question, what else do we need? They will add to cards, search for books. So, okay, so basically for our question, that's all we need for the person to be a person. Of course, you can add phone number, all of those things you want to add if you want to. Over here, they are saying that the person should be able to do some stuff. So here is going to be public, so you can search books. Okay. Then the next thing here, the users, what can they do? They can search for books, they can add to cart, they can make a purchase. So, and then they can manage their accounts. So over here, I have search for books, also going to be public. You are going to be able to add to cart, add to cart, which is an action. The next thing, you are going to be able to purchase an item. Remember, these are all functions, which means you can't leave spaces in them. And the variables names too, you can't leave spaces in them. So you are going to purchase an item. And also you're going to be able to manage accounts. You're supposed to be able to also make payment. Make payment. Then here, the administrator, he too, he will have an ID name. Oh, sorry, over here, we were supposed to add minus ID. Yeah, everybody who has an ID. Yeah, ID name. Of course, you also have all of these things here. So you have ID name. I can't highlight. Let me see. I want to cheat, but I can't cheat. So ID name, username. So plus username, which would be a string. Over here, we'll have this, which would be a string. And we have the ID, which would be an integer. Again, in the exam, if you don't bring the data types, I will not penalize you for that because we are not doing high level. Penalize you for that. And then over here, you have your password. Then over here, yeah.
Yes, I have a quick question, please.
Okay.
Yes, so under the user entity, if you are saying the user should manage account, is it not the administrator that should manage the account?
Okay. So let's say what account do you have? Do you do Jumia?
Yeah.
Have you bought something on Jumia before?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Can you change your name?
Yes, I can.
Is that managing account?
Yes, sir.
You see, so you
I
can
can also
manage the
change my
account.
password. Yeah.
That is managing account.
Okay.
So this manage account, we are using it as a term of any of your personal details that you can change. We are putting all of it under manage account. Is that okay?
But yes, that's okay. But can the administrator also manage that account?
Of course, the administrator can do all. So the administrator, I'm about to do the jobs of the administrator. He can search for books. Eh? He can also add an item to carts. Because I remember there was once I bought something at Jumia and the thing was not adding to cart, and they called me that, are you trying to buy something? You add it for you. So they can add it for you. They cannot purchase an item, but they can manage purchased items. Then here they can manage account. They can't make a payment, but they can what? Process payments if they have to. So once you are done with that, then the question is there a relationship between the administrator and it? Yes, there's a relationship where there is a relationship where the administrator manages the what? The client. Of course, the arrow must touch. So you must draw it well so that the arrow touches. Let me go back here. Wonderful. It touches it perfectly. Uh-huh. Hey, this is my arrow there. It's not good. Let me make it touch it well. Perfect. Oy. Uh-huh. Like this. This is what I was expecting. So all of this one here is for question what? The gentleman who asked the question about the higher level class language. Are we okay?
Yes, sir.
And then over here,
Yes,
discuss
sir.
how you would model the interaction between the system and the internal payment gateway, make considerations for security and data privacy. Okay,
Sir, if you can go to the diagram again, sir.
Okay.
Are the items under the administrator, should it be public?
Yes, it should be public.
ID, the administrator's ID, name, this password.
Oh, no, sorry. This one is private.
Yes. Okay.
Because of the concept of encapsulation, all of your variables are going to be what? Private. Thank you. MDA. Your hand is up. MDA, your hand is up. Sorry, I couldn't hear you. My this thing went off. I'm back now. What was the question? MDA. Hello?
Yeah, I was saying that when we listed the functional requirement, the question for yes,
The question asks for non-functional requirements. Your line is breaking a lot. Can you type it in the chat so that I just read it?
I'm speaking. Can you hear me?
I can hear you now. Don't worry, just type the question in the chat. I'll read it from there. Okay. But if it is the non-functional requirement, I was about to do that, but someone asked about the diagram again. So I just wanted to do the diagram and get it all finished. Now, before I go on to talk about the non-functional requirements, let's know what they are. The non-functional requirements in software engineering refers to characteristics of a software system that are not related to the specific functionality or behavior. They describe how the system should perform rather than what it should do. They describe how the system should perform rather than what it should do. So under non-functional requirements, we are looking at things like scalability, maintainability, performance, portability, security, reliability, and more. So there, you're not talking about the specific things the system will do, but here's where you can write the system will be user-friendly, the system will be small, installation time will be low, the system will be secure because we'll be using encryption password, all of those things in which, to be honest with you, we cannot measure or we cannot you can't measure it. You can't measure the improvement in there. You put it under non-functional requirements. So if we are bringing it to if we are bringing it back to our question here, and we are asking for the non-functional requirements of the system, then over here we can say the following. Look, can you hear me though?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
You can say the following, that the system should process user actions like searching for a book in a cart in 2 seconds. We can say the system should handle increasing traffic such as a high-level user activity during promotions and sales. We can say protect sensitive data with encryption mechanisms and so on and so forth. So, under the non-functional requirements, as I said, there we are focusing more on these words like maintainability. This thing, system should have encryption traffic. Yes, we are focusing more on these words: scalability, maintainability, performance, portability, security, reliability. So the system should be reliable. How do these are things you can't measure. So you are just saying things you wish the system will do technically, or after you've built the system, the things which are not core functionality of what the system will do, the things you can't measure, those are the non-functional requirements. So my system is faster.
by 2%. Those kind of things is what we put over there. Yes. So are there any questions in terms of this question?
Okay.
Are you? Let's do what we wanted to do today. So no one has any questions about what we were supposed to practice again, because so that I can move on to today's activities. Okay, we thank God. A sequence diagram is a key component of unified modeling language. Used to visualize the interactions between objects in a sequential order. It focuses on how objects communicate with each other over time, making it an essential tool for modeling dynamic behavior in a system. Sequence models illustrate object interactions, messages, flows, and the sequence of operations, making them valuable for understanding use cases, designing system architecture, and documenting complex processes. Sequence diagrams are a type of unified model language diagram that visually represents the interaction between objects or components in a system over time. They focus on the order and timing of these messages or events exchanged between different system elements. The diagram captures how objects communicate with each other through a series of messages, providing a clear view of the sequence of the operation or process. In a sequence diagram, we have the actor. The actor represents a role, represents a type of role where it interacts with the system and its objects. It is important to note here that an actor is always outside the scope of the system we aim to model using the UML diagram. 1 second, I'm just charging my. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is what we call an actor. So in a sequence diagram, when we say actor, then we are talking about the stick diagram like this. So this is what we call an actor in a use case diagram. So actor. We use actors to depict various roles, including human users and other external objects. We represent an actor in a UML diagram using a stick person notation. we can have multiple actors in a sequence diagram. For example, this here is a diagram I'm about to show that shows a seat reservation system for a theater or a movie ring or whatever you want to describe it. Now, in such a scenario, one second. We have this. Now, the sequence diagram. Over here, I have the user. I have the theater. I have the server. This theater, this server represent the system. In there, I have this here being one class, theater, this here being another class, server. The user will insert his. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, please.
Sorry, today I don't know what Vodafone is doing in my area and my internet is so poor. But let's see. Over here, the user inserts a card into the class called theater. He would select a date into the class called theater. The system will then tell the user the seats available. The user will submit an order. That is, he will select the seat he wants and submit an order. When he submits an order, the order will go to the server, and then the server will confirm that the order has been made to the theater. Then the theater will then confirm it to the what? User. So let's take another example of a use case that. Of a sequence diagram. So over here, I have a customer. I have a bank. Over here, I have check balance. The customer will go to the bank to check balance. The bank will reply to the customer the balance amount. So I'll finish this sequence. So this is how the user will interact with the various components in the bank. Are there any issues with this diagram, to be honest? Faustina, are you okay?
Yes, sir.
Sir,
Mm-hmm.
the interaction between the user, in this case the customer, and the bank,
Mm-hmm.
where the action being taken is check balance.
Mm-hmm.
In this case, if this is being ported to becomes a method under the customer.
Mm-hmm.
I'm asking.
What is being ported to become a method? I don't understand.
No, so in this case, the interaction here is the customer is checking his balance with the bank.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know if one comes first, but if you are taking the information here to create a class diagram, or you are taking the information from
Are you there? I can't hear you anymore. Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, sir, we can hear you. I think his
I can't
network
hear.
is struggling.
It's struggling. Okay, no problem. The point of a sequence diagram is to show how messages flow in a particular system. So, for example, if your user wants to check balance, what will he do? He will go and click on something called check balance. That information goes to the bank. Note, when you say check balance, there are things which go on over there. We are not talking about the individual things which go on over there. I rather asking the question, what request does this customer make to the bank? He will make a request of check balance. And what reply will he get from the bank? He will get a reply of the balance amount. So when I'm coding, I know that this class here, I need a set of functionalities that will help him to check the balance. And he will retrieve this information from the bank. And the bank will reply to him with the what? Balance amount. That clear? I don't know if that is clear, but in sequence diagrams, we are not, you see, every diagram has what they are looking for. In sequence diagrams, you are less looking at the messages between components and actors. So what message is sent from this person to that person and what reply will he get? You can see that in sorry, in this one here, I sent the card information, right? And then I sent the date, which means I need to send card information and a date before I will get a reply for the seat offer. Then I would submit the order. Not that the order means that I have selected my seat and then I know what seats in which I want and all of those things. But that is not that we are not coding we are not writing the inner things which go on in offering of a seat. We are just saying that if I offer you the seat, you will submit the order. When you submit the order to the theater will go and hit its service. Then this service will confirm to the theater. Then the theater will then confirm to the user. So if you are writing code on this, you design an interface for insert card, design an interface for selected date. Then when the person clicks on a button, you tell the person the seats that are available. When he chooses a seat, then you submit it and then tell him that, okay, based on this, you are coming on this day, that day, this is your seat, and this is where you are sitting. So a sequence diagram is showing where the information and where the messages and the feedbacks are coming from in your system. That's all it's supposed to do. I hope I'm clear.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. But I have a question too. Do the lines and then the arrows, do they carry meaning? Because it looks like they are
Yes, they
different.
do.
Then on the other diagram, you had a box underneath the bank.
Mm.
Uh, what do they mean?
So now let's look at what they mean. We display a lifeline in a rectangle called head with its name and type. The head is located on top of the vertical dashed line, referred to as the stem, as shown above. And the as shown above is over here. We'll have that sequence diagram. It's supposed to be here somewhere. Oh, 1 second. Perfect. Here it is. So over here, I have my lifeline. That arrows down here is what we call the stem. And they are dotted. So this should show me the class, the name of it, and its class, where it is coming from. And then I have the stem showing down over here. The next thing, so that talks about the squares here. The next thing is the messages themselves. How do we depict the messages and what are the messages? Messages are communications between objects is depicted using messages. The messages appear in a sequential order on the timeline. Again, the first activity you do will come, then the next activity, then the next activity. So each activity is in a line. We represent messages using arrows, and lifelines and messages flow from the core of a sequence diagram. Let's see an example of this. So here I have different messages that are going through. I have a synchronous message going here. I have an asynchronous message going here. I have a self message going here. I have a reply coming here. I have messages leaving here and going here to agent. I have another message over here going here to a particular action. So all of these are how we would give out messages. Now, when a message is called asynchronous message, it's called a synchronous message. It means that the message has to wait for a reply before it can continue. So if I send a piece of information, I must get a reply before my system can continue. If it is asynchronous, it means that I don't have to wait for a reply. My system can continue running whilst the message is being what? Processed. To be honest, most of your web requests are asynchronous. That's why your WhatsApp, you can send a message and move to the next place whilst the message is being sent. You don't have to, if there is a problem with the server, it will wait when there's internet, then the message will be sent, that kind of vibe. So here we have an asynchronous message, meaning that if I send a request, the request can be processed immediately or later, but my system will continue running. If it is synchronous, it means that when I send a request, I must get a reply before my system can continue running. The square here shows a function or a process that is being done. So when I direct it to a square, it means I'm directing it to a particular point where a function would dwell or an action would dwell for it to be done. There are times in which the object itself will send a message to itself to gain a reply. In such circumstances, then we have a self message. It means that you are sending the message to yourself, or you yourself are doing the information. So the information you are sending is coming back to you. So you are creating a function and then giving that action back to yourself. And that can be seen over here. So an example of that would be this. So let's say you open an application. So over here, I've opened an application. Then the device itself will have a message to itself to open the dash cam. Then the dash cam will be open for you to use the application. So I click here, I click on camera, then the camera will open the video cam, then I can use the camera. So you don't have direct access to the camera. The camera is coming from the device. So the device is giving itself a message to do a particular action. So we record it in this vein. Are we clear on that?
Yes, sir.
If you write a reply, this is how it should look like. So the dotted lines for a reply, if it is a request, the lines are thick and straight. But if it is a reply, then the line should be thick at the beginning and dotted at the end. If it is a reply, it should be thick at the beginning and dotted at the end. So let's look at some examples. So here we have a system to play music for you based on your mood. So the user will open the application. The application will open the cam. When it opens the cam, it will go and get a photo of you by detecting your face. The detected face will go back into the system. The system will reply you with your mood. Then the system, oh, sorry, I made a mistake. The system will detect your face and go and retrieve a mood. This will reply you with the person's mood and you display the person's mood. Then the system will go on to retrieve the music based on the mood. It will generate a playlist and then show you the playlist. Let's see if we can break this thing down some more. I have a system. When I wake up in the morning, I don't know the music I want to play. So I'll open the system. The system will look at my face. If I am smiling, it will say that you are happy. If I am sad, it will say that I am sad. If I am crying, it will see that I am crying. Based on my mood, the system will then go and play music so that my mood can be lifted or brought down some more or whatever that is based on that. How does this system work? I will open the application. So I'm making a request. When I make a request, the device itself will make a request to the webcam. Then it would also make a request to me. The making a request to me it is trying to get my photo. When it goes, it will get my photo and it will come back. Once it comes back, I will go into the database and check to see which kind of moods do I have based on the face I've detected. Then I'll get a reply. That is why it is dotted. That, okay, this is the feedback I am getting, that your mood is this. So here I'm telling the person that this is your mood. It's not me asking for information. I'm telling you, okay, after I've told you your mood, I will go back into the database and pick music that fits your mood. Then I'll reply you with the word music. Then I would give you feedback with the playlist that can play and make you feel good or bad or whatever. Again, the purpose of a sequence diagram is to showcase the messages and interactions between various users and devices in a system. Are we okay?
So you said the display mood is a reply. Why is it all ticked out?
This one. No, I'm telling
Yes,
you
sir.
your mood. I'm not asking you for feedback.
Oh, okay.
So this is feedback. Like if it is dotted, it means that it is feedback. If it is not dotted, it means I'm telling you.
Okay.
How will I see this? If it is dotted, it means that the information you asked for, this is what I'm telling you. For example, in this whole thing, the user asked for information when he opened the app. He is getting it at number 10. So the information you asked for in number 1, where open application, that is the playlist. But to get to the playlist, this is all you have to go through. As for today, my network has been very, very poor. End of sem is coming soon.
Yes, sir.
Let's see if we can solve this possible examination question.
Let's see.